did it. You got your very first call booked. Like, it was so weird. You were getting emotional about it. And it's like, it's literally just a call. But what a milestone. Like, all the stuff, spending the last year working on the offer, navigating the horrific trenches of a super outdated and old website, integrations to make it new, a seamless experience, all this stuff, the full structure changes, the editing, the creating, an entire year, less than that, 10 to 11 months. And it's like, okay, now let's sell. And 6 days in, you book your first meeting. It's just like, it's just wild. And like, okay, so this call, the way it works is they go through the lead magnet, which will give them results on the exam so they know where they sit. And then we have like detailed feedback and a personal study plan that we give them. And so the call is basically to go over those results. But like, they've gone through this funnel, they've spent literally an hour doing an exam, and then at the end of the funnel, they answer a bunch of questions with like damaging admissions, like, do you think you could do this by yourself? And they're like, no. Do you think, if you had a professional helping you, you'd be able to do it? Yes, like all that stuff. And then we send them the results, say, look, if you're interested, I'll give you the feedback. And so they have to opt in. I'm thinking of changing that. I actually tested it without letting them opt in, just like presenting them the calendar and saying, hey, we'd like to give you all this stuff. But anyways, so this is a fairly warm lead. Like, it isn't someone who just like clicked on an ad. This is someone who spent an hour, like went through it, primed, wrote a bunch of, like, filled out a questionnaire. So like, I know what this person wants and what they need. And so it's like, I plan on doing, I don't know, 20, 50 of these calls and just getting no's. Just consistent no's. But it is going to be so much fun to get my first no. Because I've never gotten my first no on this business, on a call before. Like, I had previous sales experience, very little, like 3 months working for a tutoring company. And I would get plenty of no's there, but I would get a bunch of yeses. And so like, I got to live being a salesperson selling academic stuff, and like, I understood what the customer would want. And after like a few, I would say, so you're telling me that they just don't know how to do these things? They're like, yes, exactly. And I was like, ooh, it just felt so good. And so to learn and to push that skill into this new domain, I'm just so excited about it. So the very first engaged lead has booked a meeting. It's crazy. The metrics are terrible. That it'll be about 1,400 reach outs to one call booked. So with that ratio, but here's the other crazy thing, is like, I'm leveraging other people, so like family members who are invested and interested in like what we're doing, to make that many reach outs. Like, I'm going to get to a point where we'll be doing 600 reach outs a day. And I'm like, why wouldn't we just not do 600? And like, obviously there are some rules, but I have like backstory. I have a bunch of other little businesses that I had worked on prior to this one. And one of them has made a really strong Instagram account that I'm using to like, it's got like 1 million impressions in a month. And like, I'm using that to kind of spam people with DMs, with reach outs, without it affecting the score, because it's like such a strong account. And so I'm able to do like 600. When I use the actual company's account, it's like nothing. It's like I can do 10 reach outs and then I'm locked forever. So I'm like, now that I've sort of pulled the lever and I've won something out of it, I'm like addicted. Because I'm like, okay, 1,400. If I do 600 a day, it means that every 2 days I should roughly get one person booking a meeting. And that assumes that I don't improve at all. The funnel doesn't get better, the call-outs don't get better. Like, everything remains as it is. But everything I'm constantly incrementally changing things. People are saying, hey, this is difficult to understand. Hi, I couldn't understand this. How does this work? And like, from that I'm like taking all the feedback and making changes. It's a constant iterative process, but it just feels so good. It's like I'm honestly scared. I don't even know what to do. Like on this call, sure I know like Hormozi's closer framework, and like I believe in the product. We have a ton of testimonials because this is really old. This is 25 years old that I'm revivifying and making it better. And so it's like, of course I believe it. There's so much stats to support that the old inferior product killed for thousands of people. And so I'm convicted, I'm excited, and it's like just doing the first one. It's like it's uncharted territory. I remember when I had to send my first DM and like click send, I just felt, I was like scared. I just hovered over the button for like 5 minutes. And I was like, why didn't I just send it? The moment I sent it, the next one was way easier. Now I don't even think about it. I'm like, I'm just doing it, just sending it out. And I'm excited for the sales portion, the closing portion to feel like that. Because right now I'm like hovering, for 5 minutes and kind of blazing this trail and figuring it out. So I'm super excited. I just can't believe we got here so quickly. I was moping around at like how, 6 days ago someone was trying to sell me a table, and now I've got my first meeting booked. It's just unbelievable. It's so encouraging. It's so addicting too, because it's like, this works. Like I think that's part of the reason, is that it is empirical evidence that the thing I'm doing actually works. And it's not great, but it works. And that's just like nice to know that I can dream up something and have all these stats and statistics and it actually works. Like I see it in front of me. Like the meeting is booked. I have to wake up and talk to someone. And that's where it's exciting. That's when like you start to count, and then you can make formulas and predictions, and then you just pull that lever until you literally die. And that's how I felt about a previous thing that I did, but I won't go into that today. But man, just unbelievably exciting. So the call is at 4:30 in the morning, my time, because those are the only times I can work, is like between 3 and 6 in the morning, and then like at 6 and 9 p.m. at night. It's a terrible, terrible call strategy, but it is what it is. I cannot wait. Like, I can't even fathom how unfairly powerful I'll be if I can work just consistently throughout the day and not have to get all my attention. Like, my real job is just draining my attention. And it is what it is. I will do what is required. So yeah, what an update. Super excited. We'll see how it goes. I'll be moping around tomorrow probably. We'll see.